Thank you so much. So I welcome everyone again to this virtual meeting. Today, the thing we really plan to achieve today within this very short time is to see how we can automate attendance. And let me also say that by extension, this is not only class attendance, but rather any attendance whatsoever. It could be in your organization, you want people to clock in, to clock out. This is going to guide us how to get that done. Or maybe you have already registered, you have a conference and you want people to be registering at the conference venue. Rather than allowing people to queue and then you have 30, 20 people queuing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, wasting the executive's time. We have to go beyond that. So we want to look at how to automate all those processes. And even if you have maybe like faculty board as well, rather than us queuing and then allowing professors to be standing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes before they get registered for attendance. No, we want to see how we can automate that process as well. And a number of other applications. It could be even in your church while you have workers meeting, and when people come in very early in the morning, you ask them to sign in the books and things like that. You don't have to do that. We're going to see how we're going to automate all these processes. And I can tell you the application is very wide. The application is very wide. So that we want to do, that's the thing we really want to achieve. But then we are going to achieve it in two ways. Number one, we are going to create Google Form. Google Form will give us an opportunity where we are going to key in all the inputs we want to collect. We're going to get started. The first thing we want to do is to look at the fields in terms of what are the things that we want to capture from our respondents, say from our students. So in this case, I'm going to be using the case of students in the university or in any institution. The first thing that is important to you is you want to take the attendance so that at the end of the semester, maybe you have like 5, 6, 8 classes with them. You want to be sure whether they have attended as expected or not. So you will be needing their names. You also will be need the surname in particular, other names, and then followed by their matric number, not necessarily in that order, but I always like to put it in that order. And then you also want to have their department. You want to know where the departments where they are from, as well as their faculty. So those are the key 5 major or 6 major fields that you want to track. So and then what we're going to do is we're going to create a Google form to accept that. So after we have created that Google form, the next thing is to click on the link of that Google form and then attach it to a QR code. And it is a QR code that you take to the class, present to them on the screen for them to also use the QR code scanner on their phone to scan, and they register within 1 minute. So that's the summary of what we want to do. How to go about that is what I'm going to begin to present to us. So I'm going to share my screen now. And but then I want to enable, I'm going to start with the QR code first. Something that will enable the QR code by the time you get to your Google form. That's what I want to do now. Ordinarily, the QR code will not be attached to will not be there in your environment, but I want to enable something now by adding the plugin that will be responsible to providing that for us. So I'm going to go to Google now, Google search. I'm going to search for QR code generator. Like I said, please ensure that you are using Google Chrome. These are Google products. Google always wants everything to be done to be within the suite of their program. So ensure you are using Google Chrome for this activity. All other platforms are possible. That is when and if only if you already know how to go about it. But for this demonstration, I am going to be using Google Chrome. So I'm going to open my Google Chrome and then search. Let me share. I'm going to search for it now. Okay, so what we're going to do
Yes,
now
yes.
is to search for QR code. In fact, let's even say Google QR code generator. So when it displays that for you, you will see that the first one that it will bring for you is QR code generator from where? Look at the source. It's from Google Web Store. And that's what you want to do. You click on that because you have some other ones, but then we are particular about the one being provided by Google itself. So you click on that. What we want to do is to add the plugin to enable us to create the QR code. So from my end, okay, I think I'm on Chrome. So why are you saying it can only run on Chrome? Okay, so okay. Let me search QR here again, QR code generator within that space. Okay, so this is what we have. I already have it here now. I have QR code generator. Okay, so you now click on add to Chrome, top right here. You click on add to Chrome. That's all you need to do. Add to Chrome, and it will add it in your Chrome environment. So asking you again to confirm, add extension. This is an extension. An extension, it was not part of the Google browser or Google Chrome browser when it was being created. So an extension will now allow Google Chrome to perform additional feature which was not part of what it was shipped with from the beginning. So that's why they created that extension. So there are so many activities you want to do that people will now create a small program to be appended to that browser to be able to perform the function. So for this one now, we have included QR code generator, and there you go. Okay, so that's all we have to do. Now from there, the next thing is to go to your email, which I think this my platform is giving me already. When you go to top right here, where I'm hovering my mouse, if you can see it, let me look for a pointer. Okay, where I'm hovering my mouse, where I've just circled in green, you will see that there are buttons here on this side, like about nine buttons. It has drop down. Once you click on it,
Google Apps.
okay, so once you click on it, it will drop down a number of Google applications for you, out of which we have the Google Classroom, we have the Google Drive, we have the Gmail, we have the Search, we have the Gemini, we have the Google Doc, Google Sheets. Each of these are Google applications. But in this instance, what we are looking for is our Google form. So you search, you scroll until you get to form. You scroll until you get to form. Okay, you see form here and you click there. It will fly that out to you. So we're waiting for it. All of these activities, you have to be online. So, but for me, what I normally do is to create, you can see now we have the Google form platform environment as it is. You click on blank form. If you know how to create Google form before, that's a plus for you. That's a plus for you. But then you may have one or two features which I'm going to show you, which you may not may not be aware about. So, but if you know how to create Google form, it's a plus for you. So let's watch together as well again. I also have a YouTube demonstration telling us how to create Google form, but you can also have it here. So once you have your Google form here, the first thing is to possibly give it a title. Let's just say attendance. And what I normally do is I put the date, because when you want to generate the second attendance, you must be able to know how to separate them. So say Google attendance 23rd December 2024. So that's the title of that. Then this form description is where you give instructions to your respondents. Maybe just tell them, ensure, or they are students, ensure you complete this form at the given time. Because you have to tell them to complete it within a given point in time. Because some of them might just get to their hostel before they get it done. You don't want to do that. You want them to do it at a time that you will not tell them. It could be from the beginning of the class, or at the middle of the class, or towards the tail end of the class. So the fortunate thing is, even when they do it outside the class, Google Form will provide an automatic timestamp as at the time that whoever completed that form fills it. So there is an automatic timestamp. You're going to see it that Google Form will generate as at the time that that person filled the form. So from there, you can sieve it out. You can sieve it out. At the same time, also, you can also decide to lock. Once you have already given them 10 minutes to do it, you can also lock the back end, such that if anybody, just like I did when people were registering for this form, I locked the back end at some point when I wanted to close the application. So you can also do the same, maybe after 10 minutes that you have provided for them. So this is what you're going to do. After writing that, now the next thing for us is to begin to key in all our fields of interest. Now we want to collect Surname, I always like to, because why do you want to collect it separately? So that in case you want to sort, you can sort by their surname. It's usually easier. So I'm going to say surname. I'm going to say surname. By default, just leave the defaults and just move on. I'm still going to talk about this, but don't worry. Just still leave this. Leave it as default. Then come to this plus button. You'll see this plus button here. Just click on it to create the next field, which will be other names. You just type other names where you are looking at question other names. Okay. Also leave it as it is. You're going to create the next button again for the next field. The next field I have here is matric number. Matric number. You can also do the same for postgraduate students, registration number and things like that, and like of your choice. So leave that as it is as well. You move again to the next one, which is about the departments. You click the plus button again to click to say department, to accept departments. So when you have departments, for me, I always like to, because departments may be like 5, 10 or more departments. For me, if you already know it, the departments already know the departments that you have. So I always like to use drop-down menu for this. So when you want to use drop-down menu, so that students will just come and pick it, they don't have to be typing it because it has to save their time. 30 seconds, let them complete the form, and they're good to go. So here, where you have this short answer, you click here for this particular field. You click here and say, oh, what I want here is a drop-down menu. There are other options which we're not talking about now, but for this class, for this webinar now, we want to use the drop-down menu for this particular field. You click on drop-down menu. So that will permit them to begin to pick on the available options. So we can see option 1 here. I'm going to click on this option 1 here and bring in any department. Let's say soil science. Why soil science? Because soil is, food is very important. Okay, soil science. The second one here, let's say animal science. And then, okay, well, so let's say that's what we have. We just limit it at that. So that is fine. Then the next field, it's faculty. You click on this button again to create a faculty. And then it's blinking. You just say faculty, and then click on this drop-down menu as well to click on drop-down option. Click on drop-down option, and then you say, okay, faculty 1, let us say, maybe alphabetically. I always like to do it alphabetically. Faculty of Agriculture. I have to include my, okay, so the Google form is ready as it is. So how do you then check whether the form you have created is fantastic, is ready to go? We just come into view here. There is an icon that is like in form of an eye, which will permit you to view what you have done. So I'm going to click on this to see it. Can you see that? So this is what your students will see. And this is presenting to them surname, where they can key in their surname, and then the other names here. I'm going to share this with you online, and you're going to complete that form, and we are going to also see the responses as they're coming in. So the matric number will be keyed in here, and then the department will now be a drop-down menu that they will just click here and choose from whichever one is relevant to them. So then the faculty as well, they click on the faculty as well, and they click on submit. That is all you have to do. That is all. So, but then the next thing now is to begin to, you go back again, you leave the view menu and you go back again here. You can see there are 3 sections. We have the question section where we have just completed the form, and we have the responses. This is where you're going to gather the responses. This is where you're going to gather the responses as they're being keyed in. So thereafter, when you want to open the responses in a spreadsheet, you can come in here to link to sheets. And then you can have a look at the spreadsheets in Excel format. So from there, you can begin to do whatever you like with the document. So, but then settings, I want us to go to settings here, this third button here. We have to bring in some settings to be able to do what we have to do correctly. And I'm going to go back to questions as well to also do some other things. I think I should do that first. Here, it is important for us, for the students, to write their names. So if there are options or fields you want them to complete, which are compulsory, you have to, because some people may want to skip some fields. And at the end of the day, some may not type in their matric number. So how will you know who keyed in what? So you have to enforce it. If they did not key in a particular field, that field will not allow them to submit the application, to submit the form. So how do you do that? Come here you will see the word required. On each, this one has this option for each of the fields. Now, for surname, now we want it to be compulsory. So you are going to check this to on. I click here. It will turn to blue. That means when you go to your view, it will put asterisk that if you do not see this one indicates required question. It will put red asterisk that if you do not click this, if you do not fill this particular field, you will not be allowed to submit, which is important for us. So we are going to do that for all the variables. For this one as well, you come in here and you check it. So I'm going to share my screen again. I'll continue from where I stopped. Okay, so I'll share the form. Okay, so yes, this is where we were. This is where we were. Let's see. Let me refresh that. Okay, so I was trying to constrain the fields. We have done that for surname. Don't forget, like I said, you have to be. Can you still hear me audibly?
Yes,
Yes.
you're loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we constrain that surname, and that we've done that. You have done the same for other names here. Okay, other names we have not done it. Surname we've done that. Other names, you click on that variable, and you come down here as well again to click this button to turn it to blue. That is to enable it. Okay, I've enabled that. You move down again, you have to constrain their matric number as well, because to be able to identify who filled in what. You can see now the surname is now red. There is a red asterisk, which shows that this is required. This is also required. The matric number is required. Department is required. Faculty is required. Fantastic. So we are good to go. So you go back to your form. Like I said, this is where we're going to be receiving the responses. We're going to be receiving the responses. We're not going to do that now. I want us to do other settings before we go back to begin to key in the responses. So we'll go to settings. It is important for us to collect emails so that in case we want to get back to the students, and immediately once the exam is completed, you can release the result, because the system will mark it for them immediately, and you can release the results to them as you wish. So everyone will receive their scores in their emails. So that way you can coordinate your test without even telling your colleagues, without even going to MIS department to say that please give us time, we want to do CBT and all of that. And all of this for free using available tools that we have. So I'm going to, let's go to responses here. Let's leave that. Let's come to responses here. You click on responses. It's now say collect email address. Do you want to collect email address? Yes. Let us say collect email address. You can click on verified email address or responder input. If you click on responder input, it's fine. But some of them may mistakenly key in wrong email addresses. So in that case, when the result is ready, they won't be able to have feedback. But then let's click on this so that they use whichever email that is of interest to them. So do you want to send a copy of the completed form to the students? Do you want to set this as off or on? I think it's always good to make it when requested. The student will have the opportunity to click whether they will have a copy or not. Or you can say always, depending on what you have. Because at the same time, at the end of the semester, the lecturer may be claiming that the student did not register for a particular one. So the student will go with the soft copy from his or her email address to show the lecturer, I was in class. This is the evidence, sir. So let's say when requested. And then allow response editing. Do you want, after submitting the form, do you still want your students or your respondent to be able to edit the form? Yes, because they may mistakenly key in wrong matric number and you want them to just go back and do it. When they do an edit on any form submitted, it's going to go back to that same form. It's not going to create a new one. So that's the way. So that's the beauty. So if you want to allow them, you say enable that as well. Do you want to receive to user within the environment where you have created the form, within the environment where you have your email is attached to? I don't think that's what I want to do now, because we have people beyond OAU that are online here, and I want us to use this one to test. I'll be send this link to the chat here, and then that's where we're going to complete. So I'm going to disable that. But if you want to enable it for your institution, you can enable it. So do you want to limit this response to one? Some of the time when you complete a form, you can, once you have completed it, it will give you opportunity to complete the second one, the third one, the fourth one. You don't want to do that because you want each person to be able to do it from his phone. And you don't want them to be able to do it for their neighbor. to do it for their friends that they don't, when they have the credentials of the friend, they can always come back and just collect that. Don't worry, I'll do it for you. Just bring your registration number. I know your name. I'll fill it for you. So to be able to deprive them from filling two forms on the same phone, you will knock that out. So you will limit, you enable this to limit to one response. So then the presentation, okay. This is saying, okay, do you want to show progress bar? Since the elements are just about 5, you don't have to bother yourself to say that you should show progress bar. It's just one page. It's not 2 pages, it's not 3 pages. So let's leave that out. Do you want to shuffle order? Leave that out. Then go to this confirmation message, this edit. You have to confirm to your students. This is what your student will see when they have successfully submitted their form. So you click on edit and say, oh, thank you, or dear students. You can type it, you can customize it. Dear students, you have successfully submitted your attendance. Don't forget to save. You have to save it. So once they click on submit, that is the response they are going to get to confirm that you have received their input at the back end. So now, do you want to view result summary? You don't need to enable this. They don't need to see that. That's for you. So, and then autosave. It's saying, do you want to autosave for response? Don't autosave. I always like to leave it as it is. Don't autosave because it's just one page. It's what they will do in less than 1 minute. So, and then the next one is settings apply to this form and all of that. So let's leave the rest. I think we are just good. We are just good to go. And the one thing is, you don't have to save anything apart from saving on that edit I just completed. All these activities you are carrying out, Google would automatically save them for you because it's in the cloud, and cloud saves almost, once the internet is available, almost every second. So you just so we are good to go now. The form is ready. We are ready to go. Now you now come to top right here as well and click on send. If you still want to view, like I said, you come back here to view, and that's what you have. But that's not what we want to do now. We want to go back to, we want to see the link for this form. Once you click on that send, it will bring you here. And then you come to where you will see this button like a clip. You click on that clip. The clip will give you the link for the form. But for me, I always like to shorten the form, the URL, the link. So you enable this button to reduce that long link. And from there, you just copy. Once you copy this, it's in the memory of your computer. So the next thing I'm going to do now is, this is what we're going to copy and insert into the QR code. That's a normal thing. If you are using a QR code that is outside Google, if you are using an application that is not Google Chrome supported, then you can then copy it and go and link it with it there. That's how to copy it. Or maybe you just want to copy this link and send it to whoever. That's the way to copy it. But like I said, what I did initially when we started was to enable Google Chrome to have QR code, and it's ready for us. So you don't have to go to send. You just come in here. This is the add-on button where we're going to see our QR code. Yes, QR code for Google Form is waiting here. So once you click on this and you say generate QR code, the QR code will be generated for you on the screen. As it's coming out, the QR code is ready. Scan it with your phone and you will see what you're going to have. It's not magic, it's technology. Scan it with your phone and see what you're going to get. Use the QR code on your phone. You can easily download it from Play Store. Use the QR code. If you are able to do it, complete the form. So once you have this, what you have to do is to download it here. You click here to download the form. The QR code rather. Or you can also copy it to the clipboard here and go to your Microsoft Word that I'm going to do. Okay, and paste it here like so. Paste it, space it. It's the same thing. Paste it. You can have like 6 of these on a page, and all you just need to do, just print 2 of that, and then you take it to your class. Print 2 of these, that will give you 6. Once you have like 6 of that, you just distribute to your students. Thank you, my Professor Elusian. Thank you so much. For Amos Ogaji. Thank you. Ataisi Glade. I'm sorry if I don't know your title. Thank you, Dr. Folorenshaw. Thank you, Professor Adebo Ali. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Professor Aluko, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you,
sir.
Dr. Binoba. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Dr. Aziz Adebaki. I didn't know you were online. Thank you, sir. Professor Adeshokpe. Thank you, Dr. Dutola.